Alabama, we have every intention and a commitment to remain a strong trading partner as well as an ally. Thank you for being here in the state of Alabama. The House will come to order. Members, our prayer will be led today by Bear Cub Scout Alex Keene of Pack 31 in Madison, Alabama. Alex is 9 years old. He's in the 3rd grade at Mill Creek Elementary School. Alex is the guest of our friend and colleague, Representative Paul DeMarco.
Please join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to meet here today. We thank you that we live in a nation and state with freedom and rights for all. We thank you that we live in a nation and state with freedom and rights for all. Thank you that we in the name of God, Jesus, please also protect us and save us. We ask that you bless the speakers, our state, and the wisdom of the of God. Thank you for our many blessings and ask you to continue to bless us. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Alex. Great to have you and the rest of the scouts here with us today. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led today by Kristen Gardner. Kristen is 18 years old. She is with the Boys and Girls Club in Pleasant Grove. Here is the guest of Representative Alan Paul.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Two.
Please roll call the roll.
Mr. Speaker, Baker Ball, Dandy, Barton, Ballin, Beckman, Beach, Black, Bowen, Booth, Boyd, Bracey, Bridges, Brown, Bernine, Muskie, Butler, Buttram, Carnes, Chastain, Klaus, Colin, Evans, Collins, Colson, Davis, Marco, Drake, England, Farley, Faust, Fincher, Ford, Gaston, Van, Greer, Greason, Grimsby, Hall, Hammond, Harper, Henry, Hill, Holmes, Howard, Hubbard, J. Hurst, Bison, Jackson, Johnson, K. Johnson, R. Johnson, W. Jones, Nye, Laird, Lee, Lindsey, Long, Love, Mass, McAdor, McCampbell, McClendon, McClurkin, McCutcheon, McMillan, Melton, Merrill, Milligan, Mitchell, Morby, Morrill, Morrow, UNC, UD, Northern, Patterson, Payne, Poole, Rich, Roberts, Robinson, J. Robinson, O. Rogers, Sanders, Scott, Session, Shivers, Standridge, Todd, Treadaway, Togo, Vance, Wallace, Warren, Weaver, Williams, T. Williams, J. Williams, P. Wood, Wren.
64 members having answered roll. A quorum is present. The House is now ready to transact business. The Chair recognizes the gentleman from Mobile, the Speaker Pro Tem, Dr. Gaston, for the purpose of making announcements. Please give the gentleman your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just have 2 announcements. As is obvious, this is Boy Scout Day. Boy Scouts have visited on the floor, and also a number of the members of the House enjoyed having lunch with them at the RSA Plaza. It was a fine-looking group of young men, and very grateful to their leaders. I believe that our colleague Paul DeMarco organized that event, and he did an outstanding job, and there was a nice group of legislators who went across the street and able to participate in that part of their function in Montgomery today. Also, Mr. Speaker, AUM Center for Governmental Services will be hosting a conference called Workforce Development, Bridging Gaps to Increase Investments in Alabama on March the 25th. If you need additional information on this subject, please see Steve McMillan. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thanks, gentlemen. We also have some special guests in the gallery in addition to our scouts here today. We have junior ambassadors from Foley High School, sponsored by the South Baldwin Chamber of Commerce. If our friends from Foley will please stand and be recognized. Great to have you here from Baldwin County. And we also have the Alabama Alliance of Boys and Girls Clubs with leaders from across the state. If our friends from the Boys and Girls Clubs across Alabama will please stand and be recognized. All right, at this time I'd like to recognize the gentleman from Mobile, Dr. Gaston, for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move that when we adjourn today, that we leave the journal open for the clerk to complete his paperwork, at which time we will adjourn and reconvene at 9 a.m. on Thursday, March the 14th.
Yes, ma'am. You have a question, Ms. Hall? Question on this motion?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Pro Tem, would you yield, did I understand you said that you would leave the journal open?
Yes, ma'am.
And for what purpose would that be?
For the clerk to complete his work for today.
Now, is that because we have a major amount of work done? The reason I'm asking, you know, I'm a little gun shy,
I understand.
okay? And over the weekend, someone asked me a question about the substitute, the major substitute that we had, and that the substitute that I voted on, and the substitute in the committee that I voted against, and the substitute that was in committee that came to the floor, they were two different ones. And so I'm just wanting to
I
make
think to
sure.
answer your questions, the legitimate question, this is to receive messages from the Senate.
Okay, I want to make sure that we put in receiving a message from the Senate that we are, I'm being really, I'm serious
I understand.
about where we are and what is happening. And I don't want.
This would not be involved with what your concern
Not
is. This
in-
is messages from the Senate, what they may do after we adjourn.
Now, they went in before we did, so we expect that they will be able, that they're going to go longer than what we're
But
going.
we're probably working longer than they are, to tell you the truth. We usually do go a week.
But I'm not gonna answer that, but you're right, yeah. I'm just, as I said, I'm raising this question because, you know, the other thing that was said, I'll tell you what else, and then I'll be finished with this for today, is that I was a part of that mix-up. That maybe me and Senator Ross created the mix-up that occurred, that we had one substitute being voted on in committee and another substitute being voted on the floor. And I just want to make sure that the record is clear, that what I voted on in committee is what I voted on. What we voted on in the House, I voted no then too. And I don't want us to get where we are having this kind of thing happening. I'm not questioning your credibility.
I know.
I am wanting to make sure that we are keeping things at the level where we were and hopefully rebuilding back to a level of trust where we were before all of this happened.
I think your
Thank
point
you.
is well made. Thank you.
All right, members, Mr. Gaston has now moved that when we adjourn today, we reconvene at 9 a.m. on Thursday. All those in favor of that motion say aye. Any opposed, no, and the motion carries. All right, the gentleman from Madison, Mr. McCutcheon, is recognized. And the purpose of this is to explain today's order of business. Mr. McCutcheon.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. When we adjourned from this body last week, we adopted a continuing special order calendar. That is the order of business for this body until we bring forth a new special order calendar. The bills that we debated here on this floor, not the bills, but the special order calendar that we debated on this floor, it will take a precedence over regular order of business, any that is pending or unfinished business or continuing business until we have changed our special order calendar. So there'll be no bills introduced, there'll be no resolutions introduced. There will be this special order calendar, and it will take a precedence over any business that we conduct in this chamber.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Before we get to the special order calendar, members would like to recognize a very special guest we have here in the chamber with us. We have Cody Norris, who's the Youth of the Year for the Boys Club of South Alabama. It is a pleasure to have Cody here. Cody, please raise your hand and let everybody see you. It's great to have you here. Welcome to the Alabama House of Representatives, and congratulations to you. Also in the gallery, we have Leadership Walker County from our folks in Walker County. Here's the guest of Representative Bill Roberts and Richard Ball. If our guests from Walker County will please stand and be recognized. And members of Mr. Buskey has just reminded me that our Youth of the Year is here as the guest of former Representative Mary Zogby of Mobile. Representative Zogby, it's great to have you back in the Alabama House of Representatives. Clerk will call the next bill on the special order calendar.
On page 37 of the calendar, House Bill number 330 by Representative Poole with amendments relating to aircraft.
Mr. Poole with Tuscaloosa. Mr. Jackson, you weren't listening to Mr. McCutcheon. We explained that the special order calendar we adjourned on takes precedent on other orders of business, so we don't have bills and introductions, personal privilege, consent calendar, that sort of thing until we complete the special order. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd ask to have this bill carried over, Mr. Speaker.
All right, Mr. Poole now moves to carry over House Bill 330. All in favor of the motion say aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries, bill is carried over. Clerk will call the next bill on today's special order calendar.
On page 19 of the calendar, House Bill number 289 with amendments by Representative Booth relating to agriculture.
All right, the chair calls the gentleman from Pike, Mr. Booth. What's your point of order, Mr. Knight?
I know we are on the continuing calendar, but now, when the bill is up, do not you have a right to be recognized?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, the last bill I had a light on and I wasn't on time.
I recognize the sponsor as we normally do. He made the motion to carry the bill over.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to him about carrying it over, Mr. Speaker.
Well, we
I was
normally
opposed to carrying it over because I like that bill.
Well, I'm sorry. I recognize the member as we normally do when there's a motion to carry over.
But, Mr. Speaker,
It's not a debatable motion, Mr. Knight.
no, I mean, but you can ask a question, right, if it's a
There's
bill.
not a debatable motion on a motion to carry over.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, sir. Mr. Booth, the Pike.
It's not my intention to. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, House Bill 289 is a bill that deals with agriculture and irrigation in Alabama. That we passed the bill like this last year, and this is